my name is Marcus and welcome to another episode of Tabletop Views, where today I'm having a look at an all new, just arrived, totally upgraded, deluxe, exclusive casting shadows. 3 boxes of delicious gameplay components. Let's just get to the table, get it set up, and as you can see, some of the vibe is in these boxes. Alright, let's set up our casting shadows. I'm just gonna set up the basic elements here and then maybe quickly showing to you some of the special things in some of the other boxes. Let's get this bunch of rule books out of the way here. No way. Start off with you picking a character. Let's just set up a 2-player game with these two characters here. Then you'll have to get a hold of, what's it called? The different correct regions. So first of all, you need always this rune one. You also need this desert tile all the time, and this volcano tile as well. And then in, where is it at? Here it is. You have a little booklet here, which has the overview of all the places, and it says which characters belongs to where. Let me see if I can remember, because I know that these 2 belong here. These 5 are guaranteed in a 4-player game. In a 2-player game, right? 4-player game would be different, but you need 7 tiles, so just pick up 2 random ones from the remaining tiles to place. Then bring out dice. Bring out all of your tokens here, which completely fucking failed for me. Alright, the tokens are not that important, so let's wait for those. Bring out these cards here. Just getting all the elements out of the box right now. Just the tokens, I don't think they're going to be necessary for a game overview, so just gonna leave that mess down there. And then you have a small figurine and a large figurine for all of your characters, and then we can remove the box now. Bam! Alright, so just kind of have your characters over here. Your what's the name? This one set at 0, this one set at maximum of 18. It's your health, and that's your mana. Bloody hell, what's the thing they call it? Again, 0, maximum health of 18. There we go. Just gonna put the dice in here. This is also where you're gonna put the other things. What's it called? Yeah. The ones I don't need for this one. Okay, so the middle will always be, when you set up your map, the middle will always be the rune thing here. And then you will always have the desert tile here. This is not how you do it. That is how you do it. And the volcano one will always be here. And then you sort of build up based on your players. So this would be player 1, and this would be player 2, and then 3 and 4. But because we're not playing with 3 and 4, this one will just be added in. Now, this is a 2 to 4 player setup. If you want 5 or 6 player setup, then you would move these ones out here, and these ones would be fit in here. And then it would be again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, you know, this is a 5-player setup, but if you wanted to just have 6 players, the last tile would just be that one. And I also think for a longer game, you could set it up that way for a 4-player game as well. It'll just take a little longer. Anyways, place in our meeples. Here you go. On their starting tiles, you can kind of have these ones ready. Alright. Then you have 3 different decks. You have the main deck, which you will place up here, sort of in reach. Then you have the companion deck, the black cards here. You can't see the main deck, can you? There you go, that's the main deck up there. Kind of shuffle this one up, place it here and flip over the top 3 cards. We'll get into what those are in reading. Then you have the counter spell deck here, which you'll place next to the desert. And then next to all other ones, you'll flip over these here cards. Okay, quite a few gem cards coming out here. Anyways, when you're on something like this one belongs to here, this to here, this to here, this to here, this to here. So yeah, and this is kind of where you would need the batches in here. You know, this, where the heck are the gems at? Here they are. You kind of place these out here. So this is a red gem and these are blue gems, so I'm kind of ready. Because then we grab it, this one goes to this card pile, this one goes to your personal hand. Yeah, but otherwise these are spell cards, command cards. Now you're ready just to kind of begin the game. You begin the game simply by rolling a die. So I was display one, so this is the Narwhal Tusk Swift Wave. Roll your die. Bam. So what you have here is mana. What the fuck is it called? Why can't I never remember these kinds of names, man? Where's the damn thing where it says what it is called? Shadow fragments, that's what they're called. And these are cursed gems, the black ones here, cursed gems. These ones were shadow fragments. And then you have the gems, which come in red, or of course in blue, or in purple. And you have these one here. Are they called anything special? I've never known. That's you call them swirl. Orbs. They're just called orbs. And again, they come in red, blue, or purple. If you roll purple, like so, that simply means anything. So you can use it as blue-red. So here we have two shadow fragments, which we'll place here for use later on. This is a cursed gem, and then we have these two things to use. So you're going to have 4 action points on your turn. 1 action point can be spent on moving, which is just, you know, moving one space out. That's one entire movement. The other one is, another one you can do is claim. It's called something special in the rule book. You can, what's it called? Collect, which is you collect, you know, this one or this one for the one that you're on. So you can kind of say 1, 2 movement, and I want to claim this one, which I can afford that one actually. So we would say just 1 over here to claim this one, which I can't either because we don't have that one. So you just have to be the gems, I suppose. Sorry, I froze for a moment. It says in here, just because you have the counter spell cards up here, which is sort of to protect yourself if someone attacks you. And I just need to, down here, you may spend 1 action point, of course, 1 gem and 1 orb. So I could go 1, 2, spend my gem and my orb to get a counterspell card. Reveal this card when an enemy deals damage to you with an attack, reduce that damage by 2. So pretty powerful stuff. I now have that one on hand. Yeah, all of the different tiles does do something. Yeah, but otherwise you pay the cost over here. This one costs a shadow fragment and a blue orb. It also costs 1 action point to get rid of this one. Get rid of it. That costs this last action point, that's sort of my turn gone. The other ones that I didn't is cast, which is attack. So basically when you have one of the say I had this one on me, I would spend the resources, which is not really that one, because you're going to have these 2 down here. Spend that one to attack within range, which is shown down here. The ones around you or the one you're on, I'm not sure. This is one. This would only attack the one that you're on. And of course, if you do claim that, you will of course do 1 here to refill it. Reroll, you can always reroll any of your die unless it is a, what's it called? It's a cursed gem. Can't reroll that. Did I do all its travel? Which is move around, cast, which is attack basically. If your spells in hand, reroll a die that is not a cursed gem. Protect, which is remove one cursed gem from your hand. Refresh. Yes, of course. Remove this card from your current tile and a new one in. It's an action point, so you can get rid of one card to get a new card. And then of course collect, which is just basically paying the resource cost or the special ones for counter spells to get some stuff on hand to attack with. As far as I understand the rules, this one, it doesn't need anyone, they're free. You just kind of get a blue gem, this one over here, and now you have a blue gem on hand. Alright. Yes, and then that, well, phase 1 was rolling die, phase 2 was doing your action point, phase 3 is gathering fragments here. You roll this one up to 2, now that's gone as well. Yeah, if you reach 3 shadow fragments here, on 3 is kind of marked there, you immediately upgrade, bam, you become your shadow form. And on here you remove this one and bam, he comes on, and he's very intense and awesome looking. Not really when you use this one, but imagine using the figurines. I will show you those in just a second, just to show you how great this game is for me. Yeah, and then you have an ability here, which also takes shadow, spark energy, whatever, spark shadow energy. So you have an ability here. All of the different ones have an ability. And then at the end, if you have any cursed crystals left, you will take 1 damage per, and you will remove all unspent resources from your resource pool. And this is kind of where I get in with this one, right? Because one part is you can kind of keep it and then just discard it when you need it. Another part is just using these ones and then you have them on hand whenever. But it's whatever works the best for you, I guess. For me, it just works best to just collect this one and then just that one you have. So every time you have one of these, you just have it. And then you just kind of have the dice as your resources for the game. Anyways, that's how you play through. Yeah. There's not really a whole lot of it to say. I mean, the counter spells have their ability down here. All of these ones have their cost to the left here, and their ability and range down here. These cards, there's not a whole lot more to understand. That's honestly the game. Alright, wait. When you upgrade to a shadow form, you get to take a companion over here. They have an ongoing ability for the rest of the game. Let's just take Hammerhead Harvester here as the example. At the start of your turn, you may move 2 spell cards from your spellbook to the discard pile to collect a card from your current hex tile without paying its collection cost. So an interesting one. In gameplays I have had, I don't see this one coming to be very useful. I don't think we've played with this one, but it's an interesting. So that's kind of an ongoing ability you can use once per your turn, or maybe anytime something happens, these ones get activated. So yeah, that's the game. Some things that I have to make it so much more awesome here is first of all, in this box you have playmats. Of course, a big slot for your character and then a bunch of slots for your other things. You can of course only have 1 companion because they only arrive when you upgrade to shadow form. Then you have this one here, a board, which makes it a lot easier to set up because you basically have a place for everything, right? Your main deck, your companions over here, slots for your cards around these ones, and if you want to play more players, you just flip it out and have it even larger. And then of course you have acrylic standees. I don't think this is the right one, but whatever. Acrylic standees to bring on. And I'll just have to go and pick up the last thing real quick. Alright, so I have the last thing ready here. And we're gonna remove these ones here from the board. And then I'll just have to show you here. Because for once, these are actually quite useful. And I do want to play with these ones. So I was placed over here, and he was over here, and look at that. Hold on, let me just show you on the table here. I now understand why people want miniatures. Because I mean, this one's a bit large, but I mean, imagine if it was this one instead. Look at that. that's just a thread. Or you have the big ass polar bear here from the expansion, looking like he's gonna defeat. I understand people who want miniatures, because I want to bring this massive box, all these things, to all my gameplays of this one, because they just add so much. Look at this one. Look at him, he looks like he'll tear you apart. This is freaking amazing. And this one, like a dragon. It's so awesome. So cool. I totally understand why all these projects by Simon and it get so much money. Look at this. It's pre-painted and everything, and not really painted. It's vinyl figures. I think it's printed like that. So yeah, that's the setup. Let's get back to the table and talk about it. And there we go. That is the setup and the gameplay of it. Realistically, all I need is this box here, but in reality, what's it called? It's theoretically all I need is this box. Realistically, I need everything. Oh man, yeah. I mean, we'll get to that when I talk about components, but let's start off with gameplay. So gameplay is interesting. You know, you have the dice, and then you try and go throughout the dice. But I definitely don't think it's overly lucky, because through the cards that come out, you have an opportunity to try and create something with those cards and getting some material, you know, gems or orb cards to later on activate those and get those gems and orbs going if you're rolled on completely on your side. And you can always re-roll as well, but how much of your turn do you want to sacrifice to do that? So that's where this is. It's really interesting with the dice, because it's really trying to be a mixture of luck and skill, you know, or tactic, whatever. It doesn't quite go away from being a bit lucky. You can be in a situation where the dice just aren't on your side, and that means you don't get to kill your opponent, or maybe heal or whatever. But it's trying to negate that with 4 action points and 6 different actions to do. Which is very interesting, but which is a good mixture of it. And then at the end you get your shadow fragments and then a little bit of some ending stuff. There's a few things within the gameplay I'm not crazy about. First of all, at some points in the game, 4 action points feels like too much. Especially if you're a lower 2 or 3 players. I definitely think this game comes live at 4 or 5 players on the big board. And then rather than having starting right next to each other, start in every corner, right? Play on the big board, 4 players, you start in every corner, there's a tile in between you, minimum of 1 tile in between you, really going to create more interesting in the way you move and the way you start your game. Definitely, that is the strength of this game, is right there with that setup. And that's not to say I didn't enjoy a 2 or 3 player game of, well, 2 a little bit less than 3. And I mean, I'm saying 4 or 5. 4 is the max we've played. We've not played the 5 or 6 game yet. That's not that a lot, but I haven't played it yet. And you know, 2 and 3 is fine. But definitely the action points feels like there are too many when you're in a 2-player game. You end up really chasing each other around, and I guess that's the badness of it. Because right at the end, when people are about to die and stuff, you could end up chasing each other around quite a lot, and then you have, you know, 2 players out because you've played a 4-player game, they're out, and you just, the last 2 just chasing each other, and then it becomes not so great of a group game, because you're just kind of sitting there watching as these 2 are trying to end the game. And the 2 players, well, both players are at least active in it, and so I think on that brink, maybe 3 players is actually the best, because you're really attacking each other, and the chance of you ending up chasing each other is quite low, because all of a sudden you've like attacked rather than moved, and this opponent just then pummels you down with attacks, and then the game is quickly over. So at 4 players, it's definitely the best setup, but at 3 players, it's the best ending to the game. So it's around there, right? 3 and 4 players is definitely where this feels the best. But it's very interesting. Well, not interesting. I'm at the things that I don't like so much. Another thing I don't like so much is that you lose all of the items you have, but you have all these things in here of tiles that you can use to show the items, but in the end you just use the dice. But if you could save 1 of them, right, or 2 of them for later use, that would be way better, because then you actually needed those tiles just in case somebody wanted to save some of the components, right? You can, maybe that's just an action. An action is that you save 1 of your items, 1 of your gems or your orbs, for use later on. Of course, you can't save shadow fragments or cursed gems. That's fine, but an orb or a gem from what you just rolled, save that for later, and so it's not just wasted. So yeah, the action points don't feel completely balanced to the amount of players, and the fact that you can't save any of them just feels like a waste. Those are kind of the sums, but what do I really like about the gameplay? I really like, as I said, if you set it up on a larger playing field, you're starting away from one another, then you start moving around. The larger playing field is just better, because you end up moving quite a lot more, you have to think about where you go, you know, not everything, and then you have the ones that give you life or shadow fragments. They don't give you access to cards, so you kind of want to start your turn there, but you don't want to spend your entire turn there. So how do you kind of mix it up? I think it's a brilliant mixture, especially on the big board, big setup. Don't go for the small setup. That's just not as good. It is not as good. Definitely go for the big setup and kind of choose out this tile, right? Besides the fact of the characters you want to use, you should base that around the character and its ability. But then the other tiles you base around what the tile's ability is, because every tile has an ability. So the remaining tiles that you pay to place in should be based on that, definitely. You know, I think I have gotten a favorite tile or two already, but maybe. And also on the gem one, you get, you know, gems at the start of the turn. That should just be saved. That should be something you have access to for the rest of the game as long as you want to. You just have that one, but you're not allowed to save them. That's it. There's a little bit that you can't save any of them. That annoys me a bit. So yeah, the gameplay, I actually really like the gameplay of this overall. There's a few things that are annoying at smaller or higher play counts, but overall I actually really like this gameplay, and as I say, 3 or 4 is probably my sweet spot. I haven't played it at 5 or 6 yet. 3 or 4 is my sweet spot in play count. Let's go on to talk about components, because obviously I'm sitting here holding 3 relatively large size boxes, and you're probably wondering how many of those boxes are actually necessary for gameplay. And the answer is this one. It has the meeples, and has the tiles, it has everything you need is in this box right here. Then go down to this box right here, and you have my favorite thing of all time, which is playmats. And obviously also this box is the one that contains the wooden component things rather than cardboard ones you get in the base game of the small tiles there. This one contains the wooden tiles, which is amazing, and it has acrylic standees. I have some up here as well from Here to Slay, which we don't actually use for Here to Slay that much, because they're not really used in the game. The difference is this game really uses those, and as I showed you with the acrylic standees, which is all that's in. Well, actually, I completed. This is the box with the playmats and the big board for the center of the game, which to me is completely necessary. It adds so much to the game. I cannot play without those. This one contains the acrylic standees, and to me, a game like this, I understand why people are crone crazy when Simon comes out with a miniature game filled with miniatures. Because having those ones on the board and having the little cute axolotl, and then bam, we've got a massive axolotl, or the little gremlin thing that turns into dragon, or the little wolf that turns into a werewolf. It just adds so much to have them and to see it happening on the board, and all of a sudden you have this massive thing moving around. And also really adds to the fact that when you're small you can kind of share the space, you're nice, but when you're big, not that you can't both share the tile, you need to battle it out and grab. It's so freaking awesome. I don't think I'm really, and I also think really it adds so much personality to it. When they're small, they're all kind of cute and weird, but when you get into the larger size, all of a sudden you have an idea of who these people are. The fox thing that gets until looks so wise, like it's a reminiscent warrior that takes his time and looks his opponent, but the polar bear just comes up with a massive ice fist, and you just think this guy's gonna punch first, ask questions later. So much personality in these figures, really put him out there, and it just encourages you to kind of go into that one. With the fox, you kind of want to be sneaky and go around, but with the polar bear, just going punching, man. You want to get up close and personal. You want to get those close range ones. You just get boom. I'm in your space now. Ka-chow. So amazing. So yeah, I never understood the thing with miniatures. I do now. I really do now. So yeah, I mean, this is all you actually need. I need all of this. well, not the acrylic standees obviously, because I have these ones. So that's kind of an, but play mats to just add to your player area, and then maybe easier to keep a track of all your cards and stuff. The main central board, just to make it easy for setup and have a nice look on the table. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing with all these components. Artwork is it's different. It's not really the Unstable Games artwork you're used to, because it's made to be darker, and it's kind of just the standees and the characters that are first cute, and then they become this darker and more dangerous one. But it still looks absolutely amazing. Still really great artwork from this company. It continues to make amazing artwork. So the theme. Now I think we need to get to the theme. What is the theme? The theme this is of course that you live in this world filled with magic and some darkness, and then you go into battle. The theme, I mean, it's sort of there in the sense that you are sort of these animals in this amazing world. It feels awesome, this world. The fact where I go out is, why are you fighting? Why is this the only thing we're doing in this thing is fighting? Right? Where is everything else? Right? In this world we're just fighting. Where's there no exploring? Where's there no seeing? So there the theme kind of falls flat to me, because it feels like an awesome world to explore, but it's just kind of a battle arena. That's where the theme falls flat for me. The gameplay is great, but it's awesome. I actually really like it, but the theme just falls flat for me completely in that one. Because like at first these creatures don't seem like some that wants to fight, but then you get the shadow fragments, but it's not something about them getting corrupted or anything. It's actually them harnessing their powers. So it's not like they get corrupted by power and want to battle for it or anything. Yeah. So the theme falls kind of flat for me. Now, does it lie to you? Well, the box here, does it say anything on the box here? I don't want to flip it around too much. Where the heck is it? I know it says somewhere, doesn't it? Does it not? What the hell? It usually always says somewhere on the box. I mean, I know it's 2 to 6 players, which... Why doesn't it say anything? There's nothing on here. What about within the rulebook? Can I not comply with this one? Here's this. 2 to 6 players, ages 12 and up, around 30 to 60 minutes. Well, as I said, 5 to 6 I haven't really played, but 3 and 4 is probably my preferred player count. 12 and up, yeah, sure, I can see it. I mean, it's not overly complicated getting it. Depends on how good you're at English. I'm obviously in Denmark, so it's not every 12-year-old that's good enough for English to be capable of playing this game with me. 30 to 60 minutes, yeah. I mean, you're going to be pushing an hour if you're that good at the game. Maybe at first when I just beat all my friends it only takes 30 minutes, but you're going to push closer to an hour once you know the game and you play it through. So yeah, no, it doesn't really lie to you. Yeah, 5 or 6, we'll see when I get to play it. I will update you on that one. Anyway, so what is my final score going to be at this one? This was one of my most, I can't remember if it was my most or second most. I can't remember whether I anticipated distilled a little bit more. I feel like it distilled, I was more anticipating because I thought it was going to be a better game. I have to say, it probably is a better game. But I'm flexing between an 8 and a 9 for this game. I don't want to do 8.5, I don't do 0.5s, I only do whole scores. The question is, do I push it? I'm going to push it to a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. It's based on, basically, it's, fuck, this is a good game. Really love this game. It's really good. I'm giving it a 9. I really like it. Like, I know it has some flaws and it's not brilliant, but I just really like it. I want to play it some more. It looks amazing on the table, all the components that together. And I feel kind of terrible talking so well about a game that is actually crazy fucking expensive if you want all this. It's fucking expensive. It was like, oh fuck, how much was it? I'm close to having paid $500. Well, I did get a bunch of other stuff as well, but still, it's a lot of money. I mean, I think the game itself was between $300 and $400 for everything. Or maybe it was just $200, I can't remember. It was only $250, I think, for everything, maybe. But it's kind of expensive. That's kind of expensive. So yeah, I feel a little bit iffy about talking so highly about a game that you know, it is expensive, but at the same time, I actually really like it. I mean, just get the base game, you don't need everything else. I do, personally. The base game is actually really good, and it's just one of those games we're going to be playing a lot. Well, I want to be playing it a lot, but unfortunately Here to Slay is also a game I want to be playing a lot, but I just don't get played. But am I keeping this? I'm 100% fucking keeping this fucking thing. Yes. So yeah, that's another video done. On Monday it will be part 11, I think, of 5 games I've played. It was supposed to be Evolution New World, but then I remember I haven't played what's it called? The Butterfly Effect expansion. I haven't really looked at the expansion stuff, just played the base game. And I kind of want to get that done before. I mean, it's a lot easier in this one because it's just a 5 to 6 play expansion. It doesn't do anything a whole lot. So yeah, I want to look at that first, Evolution, so hopefully Wednesday I can get Evolution out, or it will be Flamecraft. It'll be one of those two on next Wednesday. On Monday it will be part 11 of 5 games I've played. So yeah, if any of those videos sound interesting to you, then please do subscribe. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!